when I first met you and you came round my house the first time, I just remember thinking, wow, this guy can really play the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, you had a great facility on the guitar, far better than I had when I'd been playing for the same length of time as you. And it was just a matter of what I felt with you was just finding out exactly what you wanted to do, because you the opposite end to me.
Yeah.
You could do anything.
Right.
You could go in any direction because you could be fantastic at any style of playing, whereas I wasn't like that. I was always just I was a jazz player.
Yeah.
So it was like the opposite kind of thing. You had this great, fantastic ability, but you were still kind of you know what things that you could do, but because you could do lots of things, you were still kind of searching to see what can I do. Whereas I knew what I wanted to play, but I just couldn't play the guitar well enough. I was the opposite. I had to learn. I knew that I wanted to play solo guitar, and I could do it a little bit, but I realized the ideas that I had, I actually couldn't play the guitar well enough to do it. Where you had this incredible ability, but it was almost like you had so much going, well, I can do that and I can do that. Yeah, I can do all of these things. And it was in sort of a little bit later when you really got into the acoustic playing.
Yeah. And
you started writing your own music, and hearing you play. I remember you sent me a CD, and I thought, yeah, John's found it now.
Yeah, I think, well, there's for me, there's sort of different challenges. I mean, I think like sitting next to you every night playing, you could go two routes. I think people would go, well, I'm going to try and play like Martin, you know, and for me, I'd be like, well, that's daft because Martin plays like Martin.
See, I only had one route. I didn't have to make a choice. That's what I'm saying. You had choices.
Yeah, I think maybe, well, certainly the facility for playing maybe more jazzy stuff. The difference for me is that because I had no background in jazz, what I got from listening to you or listening to Jack, you guys, to my ears and my kind of naivety, seemed to play the melody better than everybody else before you did anything else. So when I was listening to you playing the guitar, I remember your dad was on bass and you were playing Don't Get Around Much Anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting in the living room down at your house in Ayr, and the thing was, it was just in the house, it was just casual, but I was thinking to myself, that's it, like a bulb went on. I was like, Martin, he plays the melody better than everybody else just now. You hadn't done anything else, you hadn't improvised nothing. That's a big lesson for me, because I was like, I like that. I like the idea of the melody.
Being able to play a melody.
Being great. The harmony's great, the improvisation great, but the first thing that got me was the melody. And then when I went out into sort of like clubs or bars to hear jazz, I didn't hear that. Not the same way.
Well,
I was a bit disappointed.
There is a little bit in jazz with some jazz musicians, is that they want to get the melody out of the way as quickly as possible, just to get into the improvising thing.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I take the melody, and then I play with the melody. So it's a melodic improvisation. So the melody is always, there's always a thread going through. You won't hear it some of the time, and sometimes I'll go quite out.
Yeah.
But there's always that thread of that melody in there, and I think that's one of the reasons why I get it's always made me laugh when people come up to me after a gig and they say, I don't like jazz, but I liked that. And I thought, well, and they don't know why, and for a while I don't know why either. And I realised it's because there's always that thread, there's melodic thread going through, even when I take things in a
I think that's
direction.
The thing I think I like is, though, that seemed to transcend jazz for me. It was the music thing that got to me, same as on Pebble Mill with Stefan, because I would never have known the tunes. I didn't know what you were playing at all. It's something else that jumps out the TV and grabs you and thinks, oh, that's great.
Stefan was a master. He could play a melody.
Like you do. So that's the thing. When you hear that, you go, great. And
I got a lot from being with him.
And probably I got a lot from B.B. King in the same way. You know, hardly any notes, but lots of stuff coming out of it. So I don't know if that's maybe the connection. It's maybe not even that it's jazz. It's just phrasing, timing, ability to play simple things better than everybody else. I think, or that's what I got from it. I think at the start, that's what drew me into it, certainly.
So then you get into really writing, creating your own music
Yeah.
as well, and doing that on predominantly, I can't speak now, predominantly,
Yeah.
I haven't even had a drink, predominantly on the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And then you have to find the outlets to do that. So I know you started doing some things with Peter Finger in Germany, and started touring in Germany, and started writing. You did some music for TV as well.
TV, film. I mean, the acoustic thing, like I say, how it started was I started writing music on the road because I had a lot of downtime during the day. When I had written about 6 tracks, I had no idea what to do with it. And here's another thing that's a bit strange. Bert Jansch, John Renborn, Davy Graham, I'd never heard of any of them because I didn't grow up with that thing. The first time I met John Renborn was when he was in the audience watching my gig. I didn't even know who he was, which is embarrassing if you know
was
your
that
folk music.
My Guitar Festival?
He
played at that,
And the thing is, I met these people kind of sort of unbeknownst of what they did, sort of thing. I didn't know what they'd done. And I think for me, I think a lot of the time I didn't really know what I was trying to do. I just wrote loads of stuff, and then I thought, right, okay, I've written this stuff, I think it sounds nice. I literally phoned some people up and said, what do I do? Who's good with acoustic stuff? And they said the only person we could think of is Peter Finger in Germany, who runs a empire really over there. It's a fantastic guy.
He's done so much for acoustic guitar.
I sent him a cassette tape. He called me up and said, I like this very much. And he gave me some dates. He said, come out, do an album. That was it. And uncharacteristically, he did the whole album, gave me the master. That was it.
Great,
no charge, nothing.
I'm pleased that you got over your shyness by
Yes.
then. You actually, you didn't have to get Marie to call him.
No, Peter. I mean, the thing is,
There's no looking back now.
No, he's a wonderful musician, really fantastic, innovative guy. Runs a label, acoustic music, and but he was the first guy who went, I like this, and I want you to. So I went over, I met him at the train station in Osnabrück. Stayed at his place.
We had a great festival there. I played it.
The festival's fantastic. Played there, and he just said, look, I've got a backlog of 40, 50 albums waiting to come out. I can't get out on the label now. There you go. I mean, how many people would give you a master?
No, that's great.
You know, it's incredible. So that's how I started. Did the album, produced it over here. It was obviously recorded there. Produced it here. And that's what I've done ever since. I've never looked. I like the idea of an audience and just doing your own thing and just a solo thing. It's just something about it's quite addictive, I think, as well when you do it. And
do you know Frank Sinatra was a big fan of solo musicians?
Yeah.
He just thought that is really, he thought, you think of Frank Sinatra, the great Frank Sinatra. He felt that was the pinnacle of musicianship, to be able to do that. And of course, I saw something the other day. I mean, Joe Pass, his pictures up there when we used to play together. He said something on the lines, you're not a real guitar player until you can sit up there and play on your own.
Yeah.
Because the guitar it's such a fantastic instrument because it's a complete instrument harmonically, but you can play with other people in other settings as well, and you can carry it. It's not like a piano, and it's very sociable. So it's one of the. And have you ever met anybody that didn't like the sound of an acoustic guitar?
No.
No, I've never had. It dawned on me not very long ago. And I've even gone around, I've started asking people, do you like the sound of an acoustic guitar? And everyone says yes. Well, some people don't like the sound of an electric guitar. A lot of people don't like the sound of a jazz guitar.
Yeah.
When it's particularly kind of
woolly
kind of sound. But everyone loves the sound. I mean, what's not to like about that?
Yeah.
Just a simple.
I think that's why it's in so many TV things like background music. We both write for TV and stuff, so you've got Country File or whatever these programs are, and in the background's always nice acoustic. So I think it must appeal to, like you say, a really broad audience, and it's very user friendly.
I listen up. I watch a bit of daytime television sometimes, and there's the cooking programs, and there's people buying houses in the sun, and then there's antique programs.
You're unemployed. That's
but one of the reasons I listen to it now is I listen because sometimes my music's on there, but also not just that, because I think to myself, that's I've just earned about 1/5 of a cent. So I'm going to make myself a cup of tea to celebrate. But I also listen to it. I hear guitar playing, and I go, I know who that is. So sometimes I listen to something and I go, oh, that's John. Because I can tell you're playing.
Yeah.
There was one program. Actually, it wasn't one of those type programs. It was actually a comedy program.
Dear Green Place.
Dear Green Place.
Yeah, that was. There's a cult comedians in Scotland that are part of a thing called Still Game, which is it's not really known outside Scotland, but it's huge.
All my friends outside of Scotland know about it.
Yeah, it's huge, and they did a couple.
I've turned them onto it.
Yeah, they did a couple of series, and I was lucky enough to be the composer on it. So I wrote all the music, theme tune. Really interesting. That's something I'd never done. I'd never been to a kind of TV or a movie set before, and how I wrote the stuff was I watched them walk. So I watched their gait, and then I wrote in the rhythm the way they walked. So each time they came on screen, the music accompanied them. It's a really nice way of working. They were great fun to work with. I mean, it was a riot, you know. But had a lot of music to turn over really quickly as well. They wouldn't hesitate to turn around and go, oh right, if it was on a Monday, right, we need another 8 pieces by Wednesday. Then you just have to do it, you know. It was really quick, but it was a really strange connection. The writer is a massive fan of Marcel Daddy.
Oh yes.
And the connection was that, I mean, I knew him anyway, and he said, I bet you've never heard of my favourite guitar player. And he said, Marcel Daddy. So I never said anything, but obviously, as you know, you knew Marcel Daddy. But Marcel would give me loads of CDs, and a lot of them are out of print or whatever now. And I brought them in for Paul, the writer, and he just freaked out. He was like, how do you, nobody knows who Marcel Daddy is.
That was a good career move.
Yeah.
What a good career move. I really enjoyed it because I remember it coming on and I listened to it and I thought, oh, that's John. I could tell you're playing straight.
Phone up saying you've made money.
So I was very pleased when I saw that, and you got credit as well.
Yeah,
musicians don't always get credits on the end credits.
It comes up as composer. I've got it framed on my wall.
So it was
I don't.
It was good to see that. So that's great. So we've got into another area of your musical career.
Yeah.